later. Yes.
You've been working your booty a lot.
Not yet. I am working my booty a lot lately, and I am putting up a couple times a week. You'll guys see on my Instagram things called AC Move the Day, just to show you guys new moves and things that I'm working on, and things are in the works. So just that's all I'll say about it. Who else has a question? Yes. So the question is, how do I keep myself motivated when I just have a lot going on, or it's hard to check into my workouts on a day-to-day basis? It's really different every day. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy working out. I know that might make me the oddball, the odd man out, that I really enjoy my workouts. So it's not that often that I'm not motivated to do it, but there are days where I don't want to, or where life is really busy, and there's a couple different things. First of all, you guys, my job requires me to be in good shape, so that's a big motivation. I gotta do it, obviously. But you know what? If you're a Beachbody coach, your job sort of requires it too. And even if you're not a coach or anything else, your job requires it. I don't care if you're a secretary. I don't care if you're a dentist or a doctor or whatever. Your job requires you to be healthy, because the healthier you are, the stronger you are, the better and more productive you're going to be at whatever your job is, and the better and more productive you're going to be in life. So that's a really big motivation to me. I know what I feel like on a day when I get a workout in, and I know what I feel like on a day when I don't. And if I don't work out, no matter what kind of mood I wake up in, if I'm like, oh, I really don't feel like doing it, I know I will spend the rest of the day not feeling as great, kind of beating myself up. I'll actually spend the day having a debate in my mind of should I still get it in or not. So I just get it in. I schedule my workouts. I know when it's gonna happen. I try to get it in first thing in the morning so that I don't have to worry about it the rest of the day. But if I don't, I know, if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when I have time to get it in, that's when it's happening. But you guys motivate me. My son motivates me. A good playlist, really good rock and music, that'll motivate me. I just need to get through that first 5 minutes. I'll tell you this, if you ever have a day where you don't feel like working out, here's what you do. Tell yourself you only have to work out for 5 minutes, okay? Go just play this game with yourself. Be like, okay, you know what? 5 minutes, that's all you have to do. If you do nothing more than 5 minutes, that's good enough for today. I promise you 5 minutes into the workout, you'll finish it. Because you started. Mm-hmm. Once you started, you're gonna finish it. Because you're gonna be like, okay, my body's warmed up, I'm in it, and the endorphins are gonna start rolling through your body, and they're gonna start to make you feel good, and you're gonna wanna finish it. And it's only 25 more minutes if you're doing one of my workouts, because they're only 30 minutes total. So just play the game with yourself. Play the mind game, 5 minutes, and then see if you finish from there. Who else has a question? There's one over there. What do I do for fun? Sleep. That doesn't happen very often. You guys, I'm really simple. I play with my son. My son's 8. He's the most active kid ever. If I could bottle his energy, I'd be a billionaire. So we're outside playing all the time together. I love to just go out to a good meal with friends. I'm a homebody. I like watching movies at home on my couch, but I also hate the freezing cold. No offense to Portland right now. So I do enjoy a good vacation every now and then. In fact, I got here last night. I'll tell you guys a fun quick story. This is my next fun thing I have coming up. I got here last night. It's been cold and raining in LA for 2 weeks straight. We haven't seen weather like this in 12 years. Literally rain every day. I've not seen this much rain in 12 years. I hate it. I don't do gloom. I moved from the Midwest to LA for a reason. And then I landed here yesterday, and I walked out the airport doors, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. My body hurts. So I'm laying in bed last night in the hotel room at 7:30 at night, and my son's birthday's in 2 weeks. He's about to be 8. And I was like, you know what? We are out of here. And I started looking up where it was the warmest, and I was like, Florida, no. Hawaii, absolutely not. Mexico, Puerto Vallarta, yes. So we're going to Puerto Vallarta in 2 weeks, just for the weekend, for 3 days. We'll go over his birthday weekend, and we'll go play in the sun and in the sand and in the surf. But that's what I like to do. I like to be outside. I like to go to the beach, like to go on hikes. I like to go out and have a good meal and a glass of wine. And yeah, Keep it simple. Yes.
What is your most favorite cheat meal?
My most favorite cheat meal is pizza and wine. If you guys don't know, I grew up, we owned Italian restaurants growing up. My dad owned a pizza place growing up. So like I lived on pizza. Thank God I stopped living on pizza. But it is still my favorite cheat meal by far. Who else? Yep.
Just a container question, actually. Just recently realized, maybe I should realize this before, but peas are a yellow.
Peas are yellow. Because they're still just like a potato's yellow. Even though it's considered a vegetable, it's a starchy vegetable. It's high in carbohydrates. Yeah, that does throw people. Peas and corn. They expect them to be in the green, and they are not. They are a yellow.
And
2
2 cuties is 1 purple, correct?
cuties is 1 purple. We're getting there, guys.
What are your thoughts on like intermittent fasting and carb cycling?
Yes, I just did a blog post on this. I hate intermittent fasting. People will fight me on it, but here we go. Here's my fun little description of it. How many hours a night do you sleep? 8. Should be at least 8. Get your rest. You need it. Okay. So chances are you don't eat dinner and go crawl in bed. Maybe you do, but you shouldn't. So chances are you've eaten dinner maybe 2 hours before you've gone to bed, right? Ish. So that's 10. It's 10 hours right there. Did you just intermittent fast? You intermittent fast every single day, every time you go to sleep. Every time you go to sleep, you're going half the day. I mean, there's 24 hours in a day. So if you sleep for 8 hours and you ate dinner 2 hours before that, that's 10 hours. That's almost half the day you've gone without eating. The word breakfast, break it in half. What does it say? Break fast. You're breaking the fast. So you've already done intermittent fasting. So to go the rest of the day where you only eat for like 2 or 3 hours and then you're starving yourself. You're slowing your metabolism down. So will you lose weight? Yeah, because you're starving. And then it can cause a whole slew of other problems. In my opinion, I've just watched it too many times where you've only eaten for a few hours and that's not what your body's designed to really do. We've evolved. Maybe when we were cavemen and we didn't have food readily available to us, but we do now. So we've evolved and we're much more active and we're doing different things and your body needs the fuel. And if you don't eat and you only eat for that very short period of time and you go a really long period, chances are eventually you're gonna end up binge eating. You're gonna be hungry and you're gonna be like, screw it. And then you're gonna just go inhale. And it's probably not gonna be vegetables that you decide to inhale. It's probably gonna be like cookies or something. So there's a million different diets out there and there's a million different quick fixes out there. If they worked, people would be using those. And I know everybody tries it, but there's a reason that they keep trying and failing on these different things. And then there's a reason something as simple as 21 Day Fix and Portion Fix works, because it's not a magic pill. I'm not telling you do this for one day and it's gonna work. You have to eat in the right portion sizes. You do have to eat healthy food. That's not to say you can't ever have a cheat meal. But if you just take that really basic, simple approach of like, I'm not starving myself. I can eat when I want to. I'm gonna eat it in the right portion sizes. My macros are already balanced. I've taken the guesswork out. You don't have to count calories. You're gonna be successful, and you're gonna be successful for the long term because it's not a quick fix and it's not a diet. It's just a simple way of life. So intermittent fasting, for me, it happens every night, and I don't really think you gotta do it during the day. In fact, you would never wanna see me do that during the day. I'd be a very not nice person. Who else? Yes. How long are my workouts? My workouts are on average about 30 minutes, and it depends on what workout program we're doing. 21 Day Fix and 21 Day Fix Extreme are what I call cardio strength training. So they're high intensity interval training, mostly with weights, but we do have a couple of active rest days. We've got yoga and Pilates in there. And then the Masters Hammer and Chisel is a little bit more of a lifting program. So a little bit longer breaks, a little bit heavier weight. Those workouts are about 35 minutes, 38 minutes. Country Heat is dance, cardio dance, very basic steps. Anybody can do them, but super fun and super sweaty. So I have a few different varieties out there. It's so that there's something for everybody, hopefully. But we've tried to stick to the 30-minute programs because life's busy, and why not get done in 30 minutes, or why not, take 30 minutes instead of an hour? If you can get it done in 30 minutes, let's do it then. And not take a whole 60. So that's my workouts. Anybody else? Yes.
What's your favorite Shakeology recipe?
Favorite Shakeology recipe? I keep it really simple and boring. It's vegan chocolate. I make it with almond coconut milk. Like I do 4 ounces of almond coconut, 4 ounces of water. I throw in a frozen banana and a teaspoon of peanut butter. And I, like 9 times out of 10, that is my Shakeology every day. But I do love cafe latte. Also cafe latte made with, same thing, coconut milk and water. Delicious. But it's freezing right now. The thought of a blended Shakeology makes me a little bit cold, but I will have it later. Yes.
What's your favorite program that you've created, and what one was the funnest to create?
Favorite that I've created and the most fun to create. I think, oh man, that's a tough one. 21 Day Fix Extreme, I think, is my favorite. Just because it's right at the intensity level that I prefer. Still the 30 minutes, it's got my weight training in there and everything. And that one was a really fun one to create. That one was very easy to create. We created it in a really short period of time. I think Country Heat has been my most favorite though to create. I am a dancer, that's actually what I went to college for. I was a dance major. So getting back to my roots, although if you've heard me tell the story of Country Heat, that was no easy project. That was probably the hardest thing I've ever created, because taking dance steps and trying to make it accessible to everybody, even people with 2 left feet and no rhythm and who don't dance. And there was a lot of people on that project that wanted to have input that have never danced a day in their life. And so it was a little bit of a battle of like, hey, let me be the expert, but it was still so much fun to be back in the dance studio day in and day out for hours on end. And I love country music, and if you hear the country music that is in Country Heat, it's very rock country. It's very crossover, like almost top 40. You hear a lot of it, not just on country stations, but on regular pop stations. So just getting in there and picking out those songs and dancing every day was super fun. Who else? I'm assuming you guys are gonna stop me when it's time to start this video.
How do you encourage your son? Because I've seen the meals that you make for him and they look awesome. I have a little one and I want to make sure that she grows up eating healthy and not influenced by those around her eating.
Yes.
So how do you...
Ooh, she just opened up a can of worms for me, you guys. I love this topic, and I could literally stand up here and take the whole Super Saturday and talk about it. She's asking about how I encourage my son to eat. And if you follow me at all this year, you're going to start to see quite a bit of information coming directed towards parents, but about kids and teaching our kids to eat healthy. Because if you don't know this, our kids are the first generation predicted to have a shorter lifespan than us, which means our kids are predicted to die before us. How horrific and sad is that? And that's because of lifestyle diseases. That's diabetes, heart disease, obesity. So I am sort of taking to my soapbox for the duration of however long I feel it needs to happen, and really starting to talk about this topic and open up people's eyes. With my son, he's about to be 8, and actually he's always been a good eater. I've been blessed that way, that he doesn't give me a hard time about it. That doesn't mean he doesn't want junk food, but he's always been willing to eat healthy food too. The older he gets, the harder it gets, I'll be honest about that. And we've also encountered some issues lately. He was tested and he has some food sensitivities. So he's sensitive to wheat, soy, corn, peanuts. I think those are the big ones, and shellfish, but that's not a huge one for him. It's not like a major food that he eats. But, and it's sensitivities. They're not allergies. There's nothing horrible that's gonna happen. Sorry for too much information, but he had diarrhea for like 2 months straight. Couldn't figure out why. So he has some food sensitivities, and that forced me to take an even deeper look into what I'm feeding him, because here I am, a health and fitness professional, and I'm thinking like, when the doctor was like, oh, wheat and soy and da-da-da, I was like, well, he doesn't eat that stuff. Right up until I started looking at even my healthy food stuff, and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, I literally had to go in the pantry and like clean it out. Almost everything, like all the health food that's in there, had either wheat, soy, or corn in it. So I had to do a complete overhaul. I'm really lucky I've got my older brother who's a chef, because one of the hardest things was bread. So even the Ezekiel bread I was giving him had wheat and soy in it. And so I went to my brother and I was like, hey, help. Because the only bread that I had found that I could give him was costing me $15 for half of a loaf. Right? P.S. My kid eats me out of house and home. I was like, this is not acceptable. Like, I'm not paying $15 for a loaf. You gotta be freaking kidding me right now. And I'm sorry, but like, I have a really good job, so yes, I can afford that, but what are the people who can't do? Like, so my brother took to the kitchen and came back to me a few hours later with a really amazing gluten-free bread recipe. It's on Fixate, and it's actually on his Instagram as well, the recipe. Easiest recipe ever. Literally takes 5 minutes to mix the ingredients together, and then you just have to bake it. So I make it every Sunday for Dominic. And that loaf of bread probably costs me $1.50 to make every week compared to the $15 that I had to spend for the half a loaf. So there's that. So I'm very aware, but I do have something coming out for all of you guys, for parents, so it's coming out in February. I don't know if my team's gonna kill me for announcing this, but Erin, here I go. She's in the back filming me right now. So sign up for my newsletter because you'll get updates on this if you go to autumncalabrese.com. But I'm in the middle of working on an ebook of our 101 healthy kid lunches. So, and you might be thinking like, well, how's that different? If you go on Pinterest, you can find a gazillion of them. Yeah, you can. None of them are healthy. I looked. Trust me, I looked, because before I'm gonna put a book together and charge people, and I'm not charging a lot for it, but before I put a book together and charge any kind of money, I need to make sure that there's not 500 versions of it out there for free. And every time you look at a recipe or a kid's meal on Pinterest, all I see are processed cookies. I see things like the yogurt tubes, right? Do you know how much sugar is in this? Same as a candy bar, so you might as well just pack them a Snickers and call it a day. So, but that's the point, is like, you're looking and you're trying, like, how many parents hate packing lunches, right? Worst 15 minutes of your life every single day. Because you're like, what are they gonna eat today? And they eat the same dang 5 things, and you're just like, oh my God, I don't wanna pack this again. And so I've been working on it for a while now and being like, okay, what are the combinations? So it has not been an easy task to come up with 101. In fact, I kind of like kicked myself for that one. I was like, why didn't I make this like 50? But the bottom line is I think it's really important to focus on it, to start talking to our schools about it. And Dominic and I, we just talk a lot about when he asks for something. I speak to him like an adult. And granted, he is 8, but I've done it for a few years now, probably since he was 5. I'll explain to him, obviously in kid terms, why he should or shouldn't have that. Like, he always wants Slurpees. I had to fight his dad on this one. His dad would take him to 7-Eleven for Slurpees, and I was like, will you please stop taking our child for Slurpees? I was like, there's sugar with red 40. I actually just did a blog post that's going up tomorrow about red 40, what red dye 40 is. It's like the worst thing ever, and it's in so much of our food that you give to your kids. It's literally a carcinogen linked to cancer. And I was like, maybe you cannot give them a cup of cancer. That would be awesome. I mean, cool, can we get on the same page here? But like with Dominic, I don't tell him it's gonna cause him cancer. Like, I don't need to freak the 8-year-old out. But I'm like, Dom, let's talk about this. You love to play sports, right? Yes, Mom. Okay, well, you need to fuel your body so you can play your sports. So I tell him, like, if you want to be able to run faster, you want to be able to jump higher, and you want to hit the ball further and throw the ball further, then you have to put stuff in your body that's going to allow you to do it. Sugar doesn't do it. Sugar is going to slow you down. And he'll ask, and he'll, you know, we live in LA, and so we go to Disneyland a couple times a year. We have a season pass. And he's learning, because he'll ask me, now granted, he is a kid, so we gotta cut him some slack, but when he sees an overweight child, he'll say, Mom, why is that kid overweight? Don't his parents know better? And I have to explain to him that, honey, that doesn't mean that, like, sometimes they're trying, but sometimes they don't know better, and we're lucky that we do, and we're lucky that we get to make the choices, but that's why Mommy does her job. So he learns, and kids will learn. If you teach them, they will learn, and they will start to accept it, but you also have to lead the way. So you can't tell them they can't have crap and then go sneak into the closet and eat cookies, right? You can't tell them that they have to go out and exercise and sit on the couch and watch TV. So we have to do by showing first, and I think that's the most important way to get our kids on the right track. Somebody have a question back there?